The Earth Cousins. "Morena! Uncle Jonathan and Cousin Brad are visiting!" yelled Mom. Morena was taken by surprise. Cousin Brad? She hadn't seen him for years. They lived in California, while she lived on a small island in the East Pacific, closer to Mexico. The last time she saw Brad was 8 years ago. An hour later, Brad was sitting in their house. He was very handsome indeed, for at the age of 14, he was tall and lean, his blonde hair was perfectly in place, and he always knew what to wear. He was a cool guy, and when you lectured, he always said, yeah, and never really listened. "He's too bratty," thought Morena. Morena was the opposite of Brad. She, being 12 years old, was short and thin, with long dark hair. She was a smart and concentrated girl. She had Mom say, "Please wash your hands, Jonathan and Brad. We are about to have tea. Be a dear and bring the tea set, Morena." She did as she was told. Brad went to wash his hands, leaving the faucet dripping water as he went. Morena hurriedly turned the faucet off before saying, "You shouldn't leave the faucet on, Brad. It wastes much water." Brad rolled his eyes, as if he listened to girls 20 centimeters shorter than him. After tea, Brad started moaning. "Is the air conditioner even on here? At home we always have it." "It isn't on, and it's perfectly cool here," said Morena sharply. "You don't know how much electricity it uses. Americans are always wasting resources." Yeah, muttered Brad as he leaned against the wall. He never listened. While Mom cooked dinner, Morena ran to Uncle Jonathan. "Does Brad never listen to anyone?" Jonathan smiled at her. "Oh, Brad just thinks he's cool. Why not leave him for a while? After all, it's not that important business." Upset by his words, Morena walked off. "Does everyone think so? Really?" After a delicious dinner, Morena retired to her favorite armchair. She flipped open a book called Our Planet is Sick and asked Brad, "Want to read?" "That'll show him," she thought. "Nah," returned Brad. "No time for reading silly rubbish." Morena was angrier by the second. What will she hear next? And after that, Brad lay on the sofa and started talking on the phone. "Hey there, Dirk. I'm at my aunt's now. She's fine, but my cousin is so annoying. She keeps talking about saving Earth. Yeah, as though it's so important. Small girls are always a nuisance. Yeah, I totally agree. See ya." "Morena!" yelled Mom. "Bath time! I just washed the towels, so come to the laundry room to take one." On returning to the bathroom, Morena saw one of her nature magazines. She'd been collecting them for a year. It was flipped to a page that said, "A shock." "That's it," thought Morena. "I'll give him a shock." When Mom came into the study at 9:40, Morena was still cutting at her magazine. She seemed to have made a collage. "Bedtime, Morena," said Mom. "You'll share a room with Brad." The girl, who was in a nightdress, gave her collage one last scribble and took it into her room. 30 minutes later, Brad was ushered into the bedroom, protesting that he slept at 10:40. "Don't turn on the lights, Morena's asleep," said Uncle Jonathan. It was pitch black inside, but Brad could just make out something on the wall. Nothing was there in the afternoon. Just then, a beam of light shone on the thing. Brad yelped. A hideous pair of eyes glared at him. On closer look, it was a collage made of terrible photos. Huge forests being cut down, sea turtles swallowing plastic bags, birds dying of heat. Brad felt a tingle of sadness. He did love birds when he was small, but what were the words, "It's all because of you," doing there? Brad turned to face Morena, who was shining the flashlight onto the collage. She must have made those hideous eyes. "What are you doing? Making weird collages that make no sense?" Morena glared at him and put down her flashlight with a thump. "Uh-oh," thought Brad. Small girls can be intimidating when angry, and Morena certainly was. "It makes perfect sense. People like you take absolutely no warning whatsoever, and because of you, Brad Davis Cocker, the earth is sicker than you can imagine. Spoiled brats," she said fiercely, stepping closer to his bed with each sentence. Brad seemed to shrink back. Morena let Brad go back to bed after he promised to read her book with her tomorrow. While reading Our Planet is Sick, Brad was surprised how much damage people have done. Morena's collage did make sense. He told Morena he'll try to be less harmful. The girl smiled. Her plan had worked. Mom announced that she had to go shopping, and Uncle Jonathan wanted to go along. "You can show Brad around the block, but don't go too far," he told Morena. The girl decided to show Brad her rain-collecting barrel and solar-powered nightlight. "Maybe I'll get Dad to make these things at home, too," said Brad, impressed. Cars were rumbling on the streets outside Morena's house. "Ugh, look at all that pollution!" exclaimed Brad. "You're right," said Morena. "Too much greenhouse gases are being released. It's better to ride bikes and walk. Come on, Brad. Let's go to Patty's Ices and buy some ice cream. Their ice cream is delicious." They came to a small shop with a plump lady inside. "2 Earth ices, please," said Morena. The lady handed them 2 green and blue ice creams, which Brad eyed carefully. "Mrs. Patty cares about the environment too," explained Morena. "She hands out free ones for volunteers who clean the park." Over their delicious ice creams, they were in fact pistachio and sea salt flavored, much to Brad's delight. The two talked about Earth, environment, and birds. They were so enthralled by the conversation that they nearly wandered off the block. Luckily, Morena swerved them back. They strolled back home. It kept raining the next few days, but the 2 kids, who now called themselves the Earth Cousins, had heaps of fun. They designed Earth posters, read nice books, and made blueberry ocean cupcakes. Well, not quite. Morena and Mom made the cupcakes, and the others mostly did the eating job. It was time for Brad to go back home. The 4 people waved goodbye at the airport. "When will you visit us next time?" asked Morena. "We aren't sure, but definitely before 8 years," laughed Uncle Jonathan. Morena hoped so. As the 2 stepped onto the plane, Brad said, "Dad, have you ever heard of rain-collecting barrels?" A week later, Morena received an email. "Hey, Morena, I've installed a rain-collecting barrel. You don't know how much water it saved. A real good idea. I joined the park cleaning team last weekend. Everyone sees that I've changed, and they're following, but it's hard work. I wish we could have some ice cream. Your Earth cousin, Brad."